Hello, hello, hello. I think we are live. Give me just a second. Yes, we are live. Hello, and thank you for joining me on today's episode of the Flow Show. I hope everybody is having a great week. As you come on, say hello, say hi in the comments, drop me an emoji. Um, Let me know how your week is going so far and where you are watching from. On today's episode of the Flow Show, we are going to be talking about automating your way to freedom. As you know, freedom is one of the elements of the flow framework. So I talk about it a lot. If you are new here and this is your first time watching an episode of the Flow Show, our flow framework is freedom, legacy, operational excellence, and wealth. And so the trainings that I do weekly are focused around that framework and how to achieve flow in your business. And so today we're talking about freedom and automating your business in a way that gets you to the freedom that you want. And freedom means different things to different people. For some people, it could mean financial independence, location independence, being able to work from anywhere in the world, wherever you want. It can mean being able to take regular vacations or taking extended vacations. You know, here I always talk about the 4 week vacation and building a business that can survive if you are on a 4 week vacation. It can mean the to certain people the ability to make your own decisions or to have a choice. The ability to be your authentic self. One of the things that I've seen that's impressive to me for people who have online businesses or who have a presence online is them being able to comfortably show up however they want, whether it's tattoos everywhere, pink hair, purple hair, but being your authentic self. For some people, that means being able to use the words that they want to use, and that may be profanity. And that is something that draws their particular audience to them, and then it repels the people that they don't want to work with. So it's freedom to be yourself. And as you come on, let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying to a different mic situation today. Hi, Constance. Hey, fellow Houstonian. Glad to have you here. Fernell. Really, Fernell? In the living room in Houston. Hey, hey, Sharonda. Glad to have you on. And you're going to have to tell me what is a boffice. Yeah. And struggling to be authentic is a thing, is a challenge for a lot of people. And if that's something that you want to have the freedom to do, it's something I encourage you to work on. But as I said, for different people, freedom means different things. For me, freedom means being able to do what I want, when I want, where I want, and with whomever I want. And that goes back to having that freedom of the unrestricted ability to choose, having choices for me, having choices for my family, without anybody dictating what those choices are. And so, in your business, having, and we've talked about this for several weeks, probably since the beginning of the Flow Show, but having documented systems and processes is a key step to freedom. And once you have those systems in place or have your processes documented, you want to start looking at automation, because what automation does is it brings more efficiency into your processes, and it frees up the human element, whether that's you or your team members, to focus on growth and other customer focused functions. So when we talk about automation, um, when we talk about automation, we're talking about how you take routine tasks, things that we do every day in our business, the regular events and common steps in our processes and make them occur and run more smoothly and automatically, usually with the help of technology. So we take tech tools and integrate those into our already existing processes so that those things run automatically without a lot of human intervention. So basically, in the simplest terms, we look at automation as a series of processes that are fired off automatically that for certain things in your business, and we'll talk about those things that you can automate in just a minute. Um, Again, hey Jada, glad to see you here. Again, just let me know if you can hear me okay, so that if not, I can change my mic situation. I didn't see any comments yet, so I'll keep going. The three rules to automation are making sure that you automate as many tasks as possible. If it can't be automated, then you want to outsource it, and this is you as the business owner. And if it can't be outsourced, then you need to look at whether it's something that you want to be doing at all. When I work with my clients in my program, this is one of the things that we look at. What can we delegate? What can we tweak? What doesn't need to be done at all? Is it something that's just an extra step or a waste of time, something that we've been doing forever and we've never just taken the time to review our processes to make sure that, this is something that we don't need to do anymore? And so those are the three rules: automate, outsource, or eliminate. And so the things that you need to automate, or why you need to automate your business, basically is because, like I said, most of the things that we do are repetitive. We do the same things over and over, and basically it becomes tedious and it wastes our time and energy. And that's energy that we can use to focus on other things in our business. As business owners, we want to focus on our vision. We want to focus on growth. We want to be looking at strategy and profit. Growing the bottom line, and basically the things that we do to work on our business instead of in it, the things that keep us in the day-to-day operation. So we want to look at those tasks that we're doing and see how to automate those tasks. And as a result, it speeds up and streamlines the work that we're doing, or the work that's being done in our business. It eliminates human error because it's something that's being done automatically and we're not having to touch it all the time. And then it allows you to scale your business because again, it saves time, takes you out of the process, allowing you to do other things, and you're using technology that can do more of a certain task that doesn't require human intervention. Thank you, Fernell, for letting me know that you can hear me, but you might have a different vantage point also. So, what can we automate in our business? This is a very small list of what we can automate. As you begin to document your processes, you will you'll start to see things that can be automated, or things that you're doing repeatedly that there may be some piece of technology for. But for one, your sales funnel management. If your business is primarily online, then you already know that there are a number of tools that you can use to automate your sales funnel. If your business is not online, then you want to take a look at all of the steps in your sales funnel. Basically, how are you getting leads? How are you attracting your prospects, clients, and customers? Once you have attracted them, what are the steps that you are using to move them through the sales process to becoming a customer? So look at all of that process to see what can be done to automate it, um, and make the experience run more smoothly for the potential customer and for yourself. Website creation and maintenance. For the most part, well, this is my preference for website creation, if it's not something that's being outsourced, I really like to have more hands-on with that, but not dealing so much in code. But from a maintenance standpoint, there are tools and technology that allow you to automate the maintenance. If you're using a site like WordPress, there are tools that allow or that will automatically update your plugins and the themes, and that will back up your website for you and protect your site from hackers and spam. So that's something that can be done, that can be automated so that you're not having to do it all the time. One of the processes that I work with my clients on is actually website maintenance and setting up a website schedule. And having that process documented is important for when technology fails, because we know that that happens. But also using that same process, once you apply your automation, you can use that process to apply your schedule. If you want your website to be updated, your plugins or your themes to be updated on a weekly basis, you can take whatever you have documented in your standard operating procedures and plug that into the system, so that it's automatically done, maintaining that same schedule. Your email marketing, that's something that can be automated. Social media, your posting, scheduling your posts, that's another thing. Analytics and testing, your payments, and financial management. One of the things that came up for me, and I won't give too many details, but I am on a schedule to pay for something, and I was surprised, especially at the volume that these payments are being collected. I was surprised that the company manually every day runs their payments that they have on a payment schedule. It's possible, depending on the payment processor you use or even the software or shopping cart system you use, to automate your scheduled payments, set them up on a recurring payment plan, so that once you take that first payment, all of the subsequent payments are drafted automatically on whatever the schedule is, usually on a 30-day basis. But every 30 days, those payments are taken out until it's set up to stop. If you have a membership, then you can set it and forget it. And we'll talk about later making sure things are being done. But you can basically set it and forget it, and that money is collected overnight while you sleep. So you're not having to have the manpower to run those payments every single day. And then some, not all, but some of your customer service steps can be automated, but you want to do that on a very limited basis, because you want to always have a human element with you and your customers. Sharonda, I'll get to your question in just a minute, but I see your question. Um, what you don't want to automate in your business, or what you want to automate on a very limited basis, are your marketing strategy, relationship building, and customer service. Just like I said previously, with relationships, it's really kind of hard to automate relationships. You don't want every interaction with your customer to seem like it's being handled by a robot or a bot. There are some things, your frequently asked questions. If they're not on your website, you can use technology to answer frequently asked questions for your customers, but you want to have a way that they either have the option to interact with a human, or there are just some things that you exclusively have human interaction for, because that customer service element is always important. I'm reading a book now, and you've probably seen it in the group. Sam Walton, Made in America. Sam Walton is the founder and creator of Walmart, and it's his autobiography that he wrote, like, literally just before he died. And one of the biggest elements that he talks about is customer service and putting the customer first. And that's one of the keys to their success, because they were always front and center with the customer while other discount stores were growing bigger and they were more focused on merchandise and pricing and making and the competition rather than being face to face, front and center with the customer. And if you look at how big Walmart has gotten, um, regardless of what that customer experience is now, but that was the thing that has gotten them to be as big as they are, going into smaller communities and having that family type relationship with their customers. And then the other thing is content creation. Um, and there are ways to automate content creation, but for me personally, I wouldn't trust it because we all know how the English language is set up, and using a tool to automate content and then having it have your voice to me just seems weird. So that's something that you probably don't want to automate, or you want very limited automation with that. So, so far, is this making sense to you guys? And if you have processes already in place, you have your processes documented, just let me know in the comments, or if it's something that you're working on, let me know that too in the comments. So, the four um, biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to automating your business. These are mistakes that you want to avoid. And number one is automating what shouldn't be automated. There are a lot of things, a lot of recurring processes that we can automate, but as I said earlier, your social media, email management, customer service, you can have automation in those systems, but you don't want it to be fully automated. For social media, sure, it's cool to automate posting your social media posts on the different platforms, but you don't want to have your responses automated. That's something you want to, and you don't want to forget about your post. Even though you have your post scheduled, you want to have a set aside time where somebody, whether it's you or you have a social media manager or an assistant, is going in and responding to comments that are left on those posts. Um, you want to engage with your followers, and that also helps the algorithm too, because it is helping to keep that post active and in front of people in their news feeds and timelines. Your email management, you want to have very limited automation in that, because you want to make sure that you don't miss anything, especially when it comes to customer service emails. You want to have very little automation in that. You want it's for me, it's always having that human element, and then we've already talked about customer service and limiting the automation in that, because what you want to do in these particular areas is maintain the human touch. Always be available for your customers and clients. Another mistake is, thank you, Constance and Fernell. Um, One of the other mistakes is a lack of due diligence right now, especially with being online, being on Facebook, whether it's ads or just being in other groups. Um, we're not doing our due diligence, and people are recommending all kinds of tools, all kinds of products. Everybody has something for sale that they want to put out in the market. What you need to do is make sure that you are researching these tools before you implement them into your business. Um, a lot of things. I love to use WordPress because just about anything I want my website to do, there's a plug-in for it. But the biggest mistake I see people making is going to the plug-in repository and picking a plug-in without looking at the reviews or the comments, without looking at how many times it's been downloaded, without looking at how long ago it was updated. If you install the wrong plugin on your website, it can take your website completely down, or it can make it vulnerable to hackers. So looking at just things like that and other software, and making sure that you are doing your research, because a lot of times, especially if you're in these groups on Facebook, people are promoting their own software, and then you want to make sure that the tools have everything you need, because it doesn't make sense to do only so much automation and then you're still lacking some of the key elements. And another example is group automation software. They have different software programs that allow you to manage your groups, or to manage group requests when people request to join your group. Um, and so I've looked at some of them, but it's always lacking. You still have to do things manually. If you want to get that information from a spreadsheet into your email management software, there are still some manual processes. So when I'm looking for a piece of software, I'm thinking about exactly what my needs are and what I want it to do, and then I look for the features on the technology tool to make sure it's going to do most of what I need to do, so that I'm not having to find other hacks to do that. If you're a programmer or somebody who is into coding, that may be something that you enjoy doing, finding inefficiencies or things that don't work and fixing them. But that's not something that I want to do. That kind of goes against the whole, automation and being efficient thing. Another mistake we make is failing to monitor. Once we put these tech tools and automation in place, we want to set it and forget it, but we need to make sure that we're doing ongoing checks, and we have the checks and balances in place to make sure that the automation is working properly. Another example of someone that I am paying, um, once I, and it's probably happened twice, I had to update my payment method, my credit card. I had to switch my credit card, and then I think my card expired, and I had to update the credit card information, and they weren't able to well, their system showed that the payment was made just because it sent out a receipt. And I told them several times that the payment wasn't made. So that's a fault in their system, and I can only imagine how many payments they've missed, because there's no way of tracking. As long as their system says it's paid, to them it's paid, and there's nothing that they say they can do externally or outside of that system to collect that payment. So with me, they would lose, that's $200 that they would lose. But imagine if there's someone on a payment plan who is paying $300 or $400 a month, and they need to update their credit card or switch cards, then that's a payment that they've missed, and that adds up over time depending on how many customers and clients you have that are making changes to their payment methods. Um, Another mistake that we make is failure to test, and making sure that we test everything to prevent disasters. And one of those things, if you're setting up email marketing, um, and you don't test and you don't do testing in that marketing, you can send out the wrong emails. You can send out emails to the wrong people, or your emails may not go out at all. Especially if you have a sequence and you have emails that are timed. You have, an email that's supposed to go out 16 hours after the first email, and you haven't tested it, that email may never go out, or you may have accidentally set it to go out in 16 minutes, and now people are getting multiple messages from you, and they end up unsubscribing from your email list because you look like you're going to be a spammer in their minds. Um, you want to make sure that you have the correct actions happening in response to specific triggers. If a customer does this, then this needs to happen. If one of my employees does this action, then I need something else to happen. So you want to always test and make sure that what your technology is supposed to be doing in your automation is actually happening. And then if you are using email marketing, you want to make sure that you or somebody in your company or on your team is on the email list so that you can keep track and make sure that these emails are going out when they're supposed to go out, and that they look the way they are supposed to look. I know you've probably received emails in the past that didn't have your name in it and it just said name, and that's because somebody didn't test the elements that were supposed to be in that email. So, um, and you want to make sure that in all of this automating, on our way to freedom, because once we have it set up and it's done right, again, like I said, it frees us up to be able to focus on other important things that are going to help us maximize the profit in our business. It also, as a business owner, gives you the peace of mind when you are away from your business, whether you're on vacation or you just need to take a break, or if something happens in your family that you need to attend to. It gives you the peace of mind to know that things will continue to flow in your business. And so that's, one of the ways with our processes, systems, and automation, those are important to that freedom aspect, getting us back to where we want to be. And I asked this question in another group the other day, and I want to ask here with the people who are on, what does freedom mean to you in your business? What does that look like? And so if you drop that in the comments, and just let us know. I've already told you what it meant to me. Let me know what freedom in your business means to you. And the bottom line with the automation and putting things in place and making sure you avoid mistakes is just to never cut corners. And I kind of covered this when I talked about choosing tools that don't quite get the job done. But you don't want to cut corners, especially if you're looking at something and you're choosing based on price, and it ends up not being exactly what you need. It can cost you more in the long run. You don't want to compromise the quality and the value that you bring to your clients or customers just because you're trying to find a quicker, cheaper way to get something done. The technology that we are looking at or that we use for automation, it makes it easier for us to do certain things, but again, we don't want to replace that human touch. We want to strive for a balance between high tech and high touch. There's a way that you can use technology, and I am a tech geek. I Every time I see something, I want to check it out, whether I use it or not. But I'm fascinated by what people have been able to do with technology. But you also want to have that high touch in your business. If you haven't already, while we're talking about high touch and customer service, check out the book Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman. And read that book and start implementing some of those things into your customer service system, or your customer service processes, which is part of your people system in your business. Um, you want to take your time with automation. You don't need to try to do everything all at once. But as you're documenting your processes, if you don't have all of your processes documented, you'll probably find ways that you can automate in while you're in that documenting phase. Go ahead and do that. But when you are documenting, or incorporating automation into your processes, you want to make sure that even the automation is documented so that when someone's looking at your processes, they know that they don't have to do this step, that it's going to be automatically performed by technology. But you want to, again, make sure that those processes are documented in a way so that if technology fails, that you'll be able to that someone will be able to manually execute that task or function in your business. Okay, so do we have any questions about automating your business? Um, and Sharonda, to your question, what's the best way to document processes? Um, there are, it really just depends, and I work with my clients one on one, hand in hand with this. But again, doing a brain dump, um, in the 5 steps, and I'll tag you in that video, the 5 steps to cloning yourself. I talked about some of the ways that you can document your processes and how to begin with that. Begin documenting your processes, and I think I might have sent you a link to that guide that you can download so that you can have that in hand, because that training that I did is actually coming down this week. So in the free guide to cloning yourself, it walks you through that, the Mad Hatter Challenge, where you're going to look at all of the different things that you're doing, all of the different tasks, and then you'll start from that. You can start the process of documenting your processes. So make sure, if you haven't downloaded that document, that you do that. um, and if I didn't send it to you, I'm pretty sure I did. If I didn't send it to you, let me know, and I can send you the link to download it. But for anybody else who is on, if you haven't watched the 5 step process to cloning yourself, I advise you to do that this week, because it will be coming down. Um, and if there aren't any questions, we can go ahead and wrap up. So just let me know if this was valuable to you all. Did you find this helpful? And I'll be asking later if there's anything else that you want to know about, anything else that I can cover as I'm planning my training for the next month for August. So you're welcome, Sharonda. Thank you all for hanging in there. And again, I hope this was valuable. Feel free to go back and watch it again. And if there aren't any questions, I will see you all next time and in the group. Thank you.